Hello, everyone. To those just tuning in, welcome. To those who've been checking out sessions throughout the day, welcome back. We hope you're enjoying the content and looking forward to more awesome presentations coming up. A big thank you to our partners and speakers for helping us deliver a fantastic program. A quick reminder to join our Slack channel to interact with other attendees and join selected speakers for Q&A. You can find the link in the menu at the top of this page. Happy viewing.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to sit through this talk. Imagine that you are a product manager tasked to bring about hypergrowth in a consumer product that is already doing well in terms of core features, providing the main value proposition. Or imagine that you are hired as a growth product manager whose task is to grow the customer base without specifically owning any one feature or a component. Or imagine that you're a security product manager and you're struggling to get customer to adopt these fancy new controls that you know are good for your customer, but for some reason customers either do not seem to care or understand the value proposition. In these scenarios, have you wondered how would you go about getting customers to take these necessary actions? Leading with value proposition is great, but have you wondered if there is anything more that you can do? Have you heard of use of gamification concepts in software products? Perhaps it is more common than you think, and you would have experienced it in some form, but may not have realized the transferability aspects of these concepts across different products and services. Gamification concept is basically a concept where you apply game mechanics to non-game context in order to boost engagement, task completion, and ultimately successful end results. This method anchors on human nature of implicit needs, which need not be just tied to utility of a software product. Some of the famous and also age-old ones are reward points for loyalty, but recently there have been a lot of attempts at gamifying social aspect through badges, status, building online communities, and more. If you have worked as a product manager in consumer products, you would have come across these scenarios. If not, then I'm sure you will. I'm not yet sure if this is true for enterprise products. I would love to hear from some of you in enterprise area to tell me if the concepts I'm going to talk to you about today translates well to enterprise products. If not, then I would love to learn from what you have seen that works. Okay, with that, let's begin. I have categorized gamification concepts into 5 types. These types are based on my personal and professional experiences. There will be a little bit of overlap in these types, but the center essence of each of these are different. Hence, you need to think hard on what exactly is the problem you're trying to solve and which of these types is the right fit for your scenario. The first type is based on the inherent need of we humans to complete tasks. We have a tendency to see something incomplete, and if the value proposition is right, then compel ourselves to complete it. Knowing how much time it takes or how many steps left is important but not always necessary. Let's call this category completion type category. LinkedIn has been tapping into this for years with this all-star progress bar. This is how LinkedIn gets new customers to onboard to set up their profile. This gives LinkedIn enough data point that can be used to personalize the news feeds and overall experience for customers, which drives up the initial engagement, thus platform stickiness. One thing to note here is that along with the gamification concept of the progress bar, indicating to customers that they have some incomplete task, the value proposition on why customers should complete it is very strong. 27x value, who would not want that? This has worked very well for LinkedIn. Here are 2 more examples in this category. The one on the left is from Airbnb. Unlike LinkedIn, the gamification concept is half done here. Has the value proposition on why should customer complete these 3 steps is very weak and is not personalized. Instead, if they had said something in the lines of this will help us find you the best places to stay at the most affordable prices, they would see much higher conversions here. Nevertheless, this is good as is. But having a strong value proposition is the key for this type of gamification concepts. We humans want to complete the task. but we need a good enough value proposition to push us to doing it now versus later. The one on the right is from Lyft. This is the one I worked on during my time at Lyft. Unlike LinkedIn and Airbnb, this one doesn't have progress bar, but instead has a red exclamation mark conveying something is wrong and requires customers to take an action. To help with that, there is also explanation in the same level UI on what is the value proposition to completing this task. Next type of gamification concept is based on the concept of conveying customers on how much they have used the product or service, how much value they have got out of this product, and then having a call to action on what should they do to improve it. This gamification type anchors on two things. First one, show the customer cool statistics on how good they have been on the platform. And the second one, have a call to action on how to make the good to great. Let's call this category statistics type. This is an example of LinkedIn showing me how much my profile has gotten views in the last week. I'm hoping to write an article to use of gamification concepts in software product later this week. So I know that these numbers will see an uptick next week. This is how LinkedIn has trained me to use their platform and drive up my stickiness in using LinkedIn. Here are two more examples in this category. The one on the left is from Limebike, and the one on the right is from Lyft. This is the one I worked on during my time at Lyft. These statistics bring about two emotions in the customers. How much have I used this and resonate with the satisfaction I have got from this product? Note that this type of gamification can make good customer experience great, but if something is bad, then it will make it worse too. So make sure to call out only the good aspects in here. For example, if I show dollars spent on Lime or Lyft, then I better be sure that it conveys disproportionate more positive experience, which may not be true always or for everyone. One way to get it right is to show dollars saved by taking a Lime ride or a Lyft ride compared to the alternatives instead of dollar spent. Next type of gamification concept is based on recognizing that customers have done a good job or have been good, hence deserve some virtual goods. This is anchored on the concept that satisfying customers you don't always need to provide a real value, but can also provide a virtual value such as badges, rankings, social status, and more. These are the virtual value that companies don't have to spend on or doesn't increase the cost of goods sold. Let's call this category recognition type. This is the space many of the startups who are crunched on money are innovating in. How to make the product experience more social, that customers get these perceived value that doesn't cost the startups marginally more money, but bring about significant satisfaction to customers. Here are the two examples in this category. The one on the left is from Uber for drivers. Uber is using the concept of badges to drive up satisfaction that drivers get when they do a good job taking care of the riders during the ride. Drivers get no additional money, but they get a sense of job satisfaction. This is true for you and me as well in our day jobs. We feel appreciated when we get a badge of honor or name on the board recognizing the effort. The one on the right is from my favorite app, Starbucks. Giving a free coffee on your birthday is a small marginal cost to Starbucks, but the satisfaction it provides to customer is disproportionately more. Then there are a few more virtual values such as order and pay ahead to skip the line and more. To make effective use of gamification concept, especially this type, make sure you understand what in your product there is a virtual no cost but customer perceived value offer there is, and find a way to bring that about that access to your customers. Next type of gamification concept is based on rewarding customers for their loyalty or frequent high usage with not much switching cost for customers for using a substitute product. This is anchored on the concept that to keep customers using your product, make them feel rewarded for them choosing to use your product versus a substitute that provides almost the same value. Let's call this category loyalty rewards type. Loyalty points is your way of artificially increasing the switching cost for your customers, but in a rewarding way, unlike hidden fees from Comcast today. Here are two examples in this category. The one on the left is from Uber, the one on the right is from Starbucks. Giving customer a free ride or a free coffee is a marginal cost, but a real cost to the companies, unlike the previous gamification concept. But this increases customers to stick to using one product versus using multiple similar value providing products. Two things to watch out in this type. One, if you introduce levels for loyalty points, then make sure each new level provides disproportionately more value to customers, else the marginal utility customers feel diminishes, and the loyalty program won't help drive highly engaged customers to become loyal. Second one is once you introduce this, never take it back. It will be disastrous when you make your customers feel rewarded for their loyalty this year, but insult them by stopping the reward next year. This is a one-way door. One way to solve this one-way door is to use the concept of subscription or membership like Costco or Amazon does, which is asking customers to pay for access upfront and provide discounts later for each of the products. Thus, this reward is implicit, which customers benefits from. But you can also take it away anytime if it doesn't work for you. Last type of gamification concept is based on the concept that customers beyond loyalty feels like the owner of the product or a stakeholder or a passionate customer so much that they can spend time to do referrals for no apparent kickbacks, raise the quality bar for the product by giving valuable feedback, by rating other bad users of the product, and more. Let's call this category gatekeeper type. Not every product achieves this level of customer love, but for the ones where they do, this can become a powerful gamification concept. You all are familiar with Amazon reviews and rating systems, which is a famous concept in this gamification type. Here is an example from Lime Bike, which is, as per what I've seen, is industry's first use of using passion of community to crowdsource being the judge of what is good behavior versus bad on the platform. Customers get no immediate value from this except for being empowered to be the stakeholders in the Lime community. One thing to watch out for this is that you can only use this gamification type if your product has achieved customer love levels that are beyond just being loyal. If you do this without first solving the product love aspect, then you will face low quality feedback from not so invested customers that you will spend more time trying to weed out high quality versus low quality, causing distraction from delivering the main product value. Okay, cool. That pretty much concludes my talk. Here is a slide for key takeaways I want you to remember. Apart from the 5 gamification types you heard, 3 most important design concepts to use when building your gamification concept to your product are: the first one, make it fun and entertaining so that your customers like it, remember it, and see it as a value addition to love your product even more. The second is to provide ability to track progression as it provides as an anchor to bring back customers to your product over and over again. Third one is to always remember to use disproportionate more value for incremental levels or efforts from customers to match up to this well-known theory of diminishing marginal utility for consumers in economics. And while you are at it, do not ever forget that gamification concept only helps make a good product great, but does nothing for a crappy product. It is only a value add, but not a replacement to the main value the product has to provide. Okay, that wraps up my talk. This is me. My name is Suhas Manangi. I'm currently a principal product manager at Amazon, working in fraud and identity space. Prior to Amazon, I was at Lyft and Microsoft. I also teach at product school. Few years ago, I also tried my hands at building my own startup in physical web space. Since we do not have an opportunity to do live Q&A, how about we gamify this a bit? Please go to this URL. You see a URL on the screen and take about 2 to 3 minutes to answer 7 questions, and you'll have an option to send me questions you may have on this topic. And as a token of recognition for filling in this feedback, you'll get access to my personal email ID and connection to LinkedIn to stay in touch. Go on, go to this URL, suhasjm.typeform.com/2/YPUMFM. This is very important. Let's do this. While you're filling in the feedback, I'm guessing one of the question you have is, this talk had a lot about customer growth, but what about using gamification concepts in security? If you think about it, adoption of security controls is no different from adoption of a feature that provides customer value, but security is a niche. We can also take this as a follow-up conversation when we connect on LinkedIn and continue to chat about this. Okay, my time is up. This was great. Thank you, Product Led Summit, for the opportunity. And thank you all for listening to this talk. Have a great day. Stay in touch.